In today's world, 68% of teenagers take their phone to school. That's more than half of teenagers. Because they bring their phones to school, most teenagers probably have their phones in class. It's important for teachers to understand that kids use their phones for almost everything. Now, I want you to think about a time when a teacher has worked in your favor. It felt pretty nice, didn't it? Now, just picture a teacher as that, understanding with everything in your life. It's a known fact that students respect teachers that work in their favor more than they respect teachers that don't. Teachers can also relate to the fact that cell phones can be used for research purposes. I'm sure all of us have used a cell phone for something productive in our lives. And another great use for having your cell phone in class is if you forget to contact your parents about an after-school activity. That's where cell phones can come in handy. Now, I know I've said pretty much all good things about cell phones, but there's also a responsibility that comes with having a cell phone. Cell phones can teach students a great deal about responsibility. I'm sure all of you can relate to at least one of the examples that I just stated. These examples are the reasons that I personally think that cell phones should be allowed in class. Okay, now I want you all to think about a time when you've had to contact your parents about an unexpected after-school activity that you totally forgot about. How hard would it have been to contact them if you didn't have your phone in class? Would you feel panicked if you didn't have the chance to shoot them a text? What do you think would happen if you didn't show up at home on time? I know personally my parents would be quite worried. In a recent article titled, "Cell Phones at School, Should They Be Allowed?" Mayan Cohen, the author, stated, quote, "Cell phones create a convenience that was previously unavailable. With cell phones, you can easily reach your kids for any reason, to ask them a question, change plans, or to simply say hello," end quote. Cell phones definitely provide safety for parents and teenagers. Even though most teachers claim that you don't need your phone in class, I feel a lot more comfortable when I have my phone in my pocket because I know, and my parents know, that I can contact them whenever and they'll always get their text message. Not allowing students to have that right takes away a sense of security that I know a lot of students feel when they have their phone. Moving on to my next example, I want you all to think about a time when cell phones have contributed positively to your homework or studies. Don't think about when you've been distracted, because I know we've all been distracted by our cell phones before. Just really think about the helpful parts of it. Technology is so advanced now that I have the opportunity to take a class online. That's got to tell you that phones can be used positively in the classroom and not disrespectfully like how they've been perceived. Students feel more comfortable when teachers allow them to use their cell phones in class. In the right way, of course. In the article, "Teachers Find Classroom Benefits for Cell Phones," Shayla Reed states, quote, "We had some students who maybe have said 3 or 4 words the entire semester. All of a sudden, they're giving me these fantastic contributions via Twitter, via texting, or via email," end quote. Reed stated the perfect example of how students feel more at ease in their comfort zone. Though you might think that it is sad how a teenager can't even talk to their teacher, some people are just naturally shy. Shyness has existed pretty much since the beginning of mankind, and technology is just allowing shy students to express themselves without the fear. Now, if your parents were to ask you how responsible they think you are with your phones, chances are you would get an answer like, "You could be spending more time on your homework," or "the time you spend on your cell phone could be used for other things." A lot of adults don't find kids to spend their time wisely when it comes to cell phones. In order for teachers to allow cell phones in class, teenagers need to show that they can handle having the privilege of using phones in class. In my experience, using a cell phone in class has caused me to use a lot of self-control. It's very tempting to look at my phone during class while the teacher is talking. Students should not expect the teacher to give them privileges when they haven't given them a reason to. Teachers have the power to take your cell phone away if they aren't being used for the right purposes. Getting your phone taken not only ruins your trust with the teacher, but it ruins your opportunity to prove that you are responsible. I mean, who doesn't want to use their cell phones in class? It would be so cool to be able to use our phones at all times. We just need to show that we can handle them. Now, as you can see, there are quite a few more advantages than disadvantages to having phones out in class. From all the research that I've done, it seems that the main concern teachers have is that students aren't responsible enough to handle that privilege. We need to ask ourselves what we can do to help convince our teachers that the teenagers of this generation are mature enough to handle having electronics in their day-to-day classes. I want all of you to think of how amazing it would be if we had the opportunity to use our phones for educational purposes. With all the apps and advantages phones have today, students could finally find ways to do their work in a way that's easy for them to understand. In conclusion, with correct discipline and an attitude of responsibility, eventually cell phones should be allowed in class.